Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome if you are new. Thank you for joining me today on this video. I will be sharing some great ideas for Mother's Day that are under $5. Let's do this. Most of these supplies came from the Dollar Tree and some I already had on hand, like these Sola flowers. I'm not really sure if they are the actual Sola flower brand, but they look like the Sola brand. Then I did create a vinyl decal on my Cricut using this wreath charm from the Dollar Tree, as well as that 4-compartment wood piece in the background, also from the Dollar Tree. I'm taking this wood tint by Folk Art Home Decor and using a wipe to stain that unfinished wood piece. Using a wet wipe will definitely make the process go a lot faster and create a more smooth finish on your project. You can use a foam brush if you want, but using a wipe will definitely act as both the paintbrush and also have the ability to wipe off any excess stain. Next, I'm using this color Sandstone by Waverly and just giving that round wreath charm a good coat. And I'm using some hot glue to sort of fill in that little hole because I will not be using that part. So here I'm arranging all of my flowers to create like a circular shape, essentially creating more of a wreath design. Once I had my flowers all displayed or arranged in the fashion that I wanted, I went ahead and glued the pieces down to the box. And I'm using two types of flowers. One looks more like a rose and the other maybe more like a zinnia or carnation or something like that. But it basically I'll want to alternate the two types of flowers. And I did use some bits of greenery, which I cut off from a stem. And I'm just using mostly the leafy parts or the pale green colors. And I'm just trying to get an idea of how I wanted it to look. So before I glued anything down, I just went ahead and inserted them in between each of those flowers just to see if I liked how it looked. So I was liking the look of this. It did give a little more dimension and more color to this piece. I wanted to keep it fairly neutral, which is why I opted to use more of the green, light green color pieces. Since I did like the look of that, I went ahead and glued down all of my green leaves and all of my little greenery pieces down. And just continue to cut those pieces and glue them in between the flowers. Next up, I'm taking this vinyl decal that I created on my Cricut. It does say, "Mom, you are amazing," and just went ahead and burnished that on to that little circular piece, which will be the centerpiece of this decor piece. The final touch to this DIY was to add a crochet ribbon to the top. And once that ribbon was attached, I went ahead and continued to attach all the other pieces down using some hot glue. You can use a more permanent adhesive if you'd like, but hot glue did the job. And then I just sort of did all my final touches to this DIY, and that completed this first gift idea. I love how this came out. It is on the more neutral side. However, the pop of that pink color and the wording definitely gives it more added interest. And I really enjoyed making this DIY. It was super easy and affordable, and anyone receiving it would greatly enjoy it. On to the next gift idea. So taking more Dollar Tree supplies, I'm using one of these picture holder or card holders. They came in different styles, but It doesn't really matter which one you choose because you'll just be painting over it. I'm also using some of these words that came in a pack, as well as another wood piece that already had wording on it, but I removed it prior to taping. I created a vinyl decal on my Cricut, and to start off, I am going to use some of this white chalk paint to paint over that word. I did like how it looked originally, but it wasn't going to go with the design that I was working towards. So I did have to cover up that wording. Next, I'm using some aviary paint by DIY to paint over that word family. And after the paint was dry, I did distress it in the elephant chalk paint. I did dry brush that second piece of wood at the bottom in white, although the pink does show underneath, which I was fine with. And then I burnished down my Cricut decal and glued all the pieces together. For the wording, I just used some hot glue, but to attach the two pieces together, the wood pieces, I did use some wood glue as well as hot glue. And then as an added touch, I went ahead and hot glued some of these paper flowers to each corner. And that does it for this gift idea number 2, which I think came out super sweet. It would make a great picture holder for your family or your mom. Now we're on to the gift idea number 3. Still keeping with the 5 under 5 gift idea. This is another one of those super sweet and sentimental gifts that you can give to your mom or to any loved ones. So all these pieces are from the Dollar Tree. Laser cut wood hearts, that home sign, as well as that bottom wood piece, which I did have to remove the wording from. So here I'm just showing you that it does have the little indentation at the top where you can insert your picture. I also cut out some vinyl decals on my Cricut. And the first thing I'm doing is painting this home wording in this very nice spring color called Mint Chip by DIY. Next thing I did was to paint that bottom piece, which will be the bottom part that will elevate the home word in this Snow White chalk paint. And then here I'm trying to decide on the placement of my decal. And this is essentially going to spell out home is where mom is. I did dry brush some white paint onto those laser cut hearts. And before attaching anything, I went ahead and added some Mod Podge to the edges of this piece, and then used some of this dark decrepit powder. And the Mod Podge is just used so that the powder can adhere to the areas that I wanted a little bit more distressing, a little more areas where I wanted it to look a little older. So that's what I'm doing here. And then anywhere that I got a little too much, I just used a wet wipe and rubbed it across to just lighten up those areas and sort of spread them out a little bit more. Now the wax sort of got a little bit muddy for my taste, so I did have to add a little more of the green paint just to lighten it up a bit. And I'm doing the same thing with this bottom part, just using Mod Podge to the edges and then adding some of this dark and decrepit to the Mod Podge just to add more distressing and rusticness to it. Next up, I used some Gorilla Wood glue to attach those heart pieces to either side of the word home. Then I burnished the decal onto the bottom part of the sign. And then finally, I used some Gorilla Wood glue as well as hot glue to attach all of my wood pieces together just for that instant hold and the permanent hold. And you want to add a little pressure to it just to make sure you have good adhesion. I decided I wanted one last thing on here, which is to add a piece of trim. This came from Walmart, and it's just a really pretty neutral crochet trim or ribbon. And I just use hot glue to glue that across the center of those two pieces of wood. And this does it for this DIY. So that does it for this gift idea. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. It was super easy to make and very affordable as well. I love it, and I hope you like it too. Let me know what you think in the comments. Moving right along to gift idea number 4, we are taking a small vase from the Dollar Tree, as well as this mint chip color by DIY, and floral greenery also from the Dollar Tree. Just give your vase a nice good couple coats. Since it is black, you'll need to use at least 2 coats, making sure that you let it dry in between coats. It has a nice little embossed or raised design in the vase, which makes it look a little more interesting. I did use an IOD letterpress stamp set, and I decided to go with the words beautiful soul just to describe your mom or someone that you would like to give this gift to. Keep in mind that all these gift ideas does not necessarily have to be for Mother's Day or for your own mom. It can be for anyone else's mom. It can be for an aunt, a sister, a cousin, a niece, or just anyone in general that you want to give a gift to that is special to you. So I'm using some of this distress ink and just inking up my stamp and then placing that over the vase. So I did use a heat gun to speed up the drying process. And the ink pad I use is by Tim Holtz. It's the Distress ink. So as I mentioned, this is a vase, so I did use some spare pool noodles that I already had in my stash and just cut them up into pieces and inserted them into the vase. And using some of this floral greenery bouquet from the Dollar Tree, I went ahead and just made a small arrangement into this vase, and I think it came out super cute. It's a very simple DIY. It would make a great accent to the other previous DIYs that I've showed you, like those family signs or the home sign. The colors would coordinate well together if you wanted to give it as part of the gift. And that would be a great idea. Next, I'm taking some of this Excelsior moss and just adding it to the arrangement just for more interest, more texture, and just to cover up the foam as well. You can use floral moss or green moss if you would like. Even Spanish moss would be fine, but I did have this already, and I thought that the contrast of that sort of straw color would make this look really cute. The last thing I did was add a bow, and this is just using the crochet ribbon from Dollar Tree, and I think this came out super cute, and I hope you guys like this one. And for the final DIY, it's gift idea number 5. This was so easy. I'm not sure I would even call it a DIY. It's more of an idea for sure. I'm just taking more of these hearts from the Dollar Tree and just painting it in the color sandstone. And I did forget to mention, but I showed you that I am using some of those puzzle picture frames that also came from Dollar Tree. Now here I'm showing that I did create this sign on my printer using some burlap sheets. Then I'm going to go ahead and glue down these hearts using some wood glue to my 2 end pieces. So this is a 3-piece picture frame decor. So I'm using 2 hearts, one for the left frame and one for the right, because the middle one already has the wording on it that I created on my printer and on my computer. I just wanted to embellish up the outer frames. Then all you need to do is just add some cute photos of the recipient of this gift or your family members. Put it all together, and this is how it should look at the end, and I think it came out super adorable. So I hope you enjoyed the DIYs that I had to share with you in this video and got some good ideas and inspiration. And hopefully you will create something similar to give to your mom or someone in your life this gift. It was affordable, as I mentioned. All of these were under $5 each to make, and the supplies are readily available at your nearest Dollar Tree, or if you're a craft hoard like myself, I'm sure you have plenty of things on hand already. But please give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell so that YouTube can notify you every time I post a new video. I appreciate all of my subscribers, and thank you so much for continuing to support my channel. Thank you and have a great day. I'll see you in my next one.